Hello, my friends. Welcome to the second section of our Starfleet 2 tutorial. This is going to be on the navigation area of the game. This is going to be part 1. We're going to look at the basics of the navigation and the Helm system before we get into more detailed navigation using the nav map, that sort of thing. I'm going to try and keep all these short so they're very sweet and easy to find and easy to parse. So the nav, as you see, we're going to go in order, by the way, of all these sections down here, for the most part. So navigation. In the navigation section, which you can select with the period or comma keys. You can select that way, or you can just hit N. You have several sections to the navigation system. The first is your system map, and right now we are in this system with a star fort. That's because we're docked. And here's our system. We have the star fort and the sun, and that's it, the star, and that's it. We can use the arrow keys to select a target if we want to move around. We would use the targeter, which we're going to get into more detail later. But if we wanted to set a target within the system, like the star, maybe if there's a planet over here, we can do that in the system menu. You can also, in your long range section here, you can see what's immediately in your long-range sensors and set a target for that. You can turn the box on and off if you don't like it. You can get information from the database. So that is the system map. Pretty straightforward. Allows you to move around the system that you're in only. Now, the nav map, you'll be spending a lot of time here, especially in the early game. The nav map, there are two different maps in the game, the nav map and the war map. The nav map shows you the type of star. And there are different types of stars in the game, and certain stars are more likely to have habitable planets. I mean, other colored stars could have them as well, but certain stars are more likely to have habitable planets. And so if you're looking for like specifically habitable planets, you can use this map to go, oh, they might be here, they might be here, they're less likely to be here, that sort of thing. And this is the basic map that you also later in the game when there's stellar phenomena like iron storms and black holes, you'll see them on the nav map. And as you can see, because we have a star fort in this system, it's showing one planet. So if we hit database for the system, you'll see that this system has a star fort and a gas giant as well. So that's what that system looks like. So the nav map is very useful for determining the types of systems, avoiding black holes, that sort of thing. You can also get information on bases here if there are any, landing parties if there are any, which there aren't right now. That'll come in handy later. But yeah, this is where you'll be spending a lot of time in your game plotting courses to explore systems with probes and whatnot, which we'll cover in the next tutorial. So the next part of the nav system is the war map. This map is different because see how every system except for ours is gray. See, this doesn't show you stellar phenomena. This shows you where enemies are and whether a system has been explored or not. So if there's a star base here, if this system had enemies in it, this would be red, for example. But these systems are all unexplored, so they're just gray asterisks right now. But you can also see where our star forts are on the nav map as well. And you can see these systems have been explored and there are no planets here. But if you need to get a tactical overview of where known enemies are and enemy planets and whatnot, you look at the war map. And you can plot a course on the war map as well. The only thing is the war map doesn't show stellar phenomena like ion storms or black holes. That's not its purpose. So if you're trying to plot around that, you go to the nav map, which you can do by Alt-N, and then you can use the war map, which is Alt-W, to see basically the tactical situation in your region. So that is the war map, which we'll get into more detail in another tutorial down the line. We talk more about dealing with fleets, your fleet and whatnot. The final section of the navigation system is the Helm, which is a lot of specific commands here. Evasive, if you're in combat and you want to be less likely to be hit, you hit evasive. There's also a hotkey for that, which is Alt-V. Orbit is when you're gonna orbit a planet. Usually when you target a planet, it'll ask you once you get there if you want to orbit, but sometimes you're going to do it manually. Or if you want to go to a sun or a star, you have to orbit a star manually. So you'll find that here. Dock is pretty self-explanatory. If we left Starfort and then manually turned around and stopped right next to it, we'd hit the dock command. And I will show you all that in another tutorial later, don't you worry. But I'm just going through all the basic commands right now so you're familiar with them. H is the emergency hyperspace maneuver. Say you're in combat, things aren't going well, you got to get the hell out of there. You hit the emergency hyperspace maneuver. There's a key for that as well. I forget what it is. But that will jump you away. And it doesn't always work. Sometimes you'll die. Sometimes you'll get blowed up, but sometimes you will jump far enough away to run away effectively. Pursuit is when you want to follow a specific target. You can use that command to select a target that is within range of your tactical display there, and your helmsman will follow that target to the best of their ability. Targets is what shows your current navigational target. You can swap them, delete them, reset them here. Sometimes you might make a mistake and target the wrong thing. This is where you would remove your current targets and select, and then you can go on to select new ones. Circle is an interesting thing. Circle allows you to set a specific area to move around. So say you want to Say you have enemies. I guess I'll show it to you. Hang on. Let's leave the starbase real quick. So yeah, this one's a little tricky. So I'm going to actually show it to you. So now we're leaving starbase. We're doing this manually. All right. So now we've left, and now we'll come to a stop. So now that we're outside, we can do this. So we're going to select Helm. And then circle, and then patrol, for example. Search allows you to do, search does one revolution of what we're about to show you. Patrol keeps you going in a circle. So, patrol. Say we want to orbit a starbase that's being attacked and keep an eye on it. We'll select the starbase to be the center of that patrol. We will specify the range. You want to stay in range of its weapons, so we want to stay close. Well, do you want to go alpha clockwise or beta counterclockwise? We'll select alpha. And then singular continuous. Kind of the same thing as search. Similar, anyway. So let's do a single. And so now it's going to fly around. And now it's going to fly around the target. And you see it stays within range and everything. And so we just did now we just did a circuit patrol. I forgot about this. I don't really use this very much. But say we want to search for a ship or a starbase. We can select a search pattern. I don't use this very often. I forgot, so I apologize. We can use a search pattern. And so now it's going to select a system search pattern, which you can see in the system map. So now it's going to go to the different points of the system to do a search. So there's one. So now it's going to go to the four corners of the system. I apologize. I don't use this very often, so I kind of forgot. But this is what this does. It's very useful when you're trying to find a ship or a starbase, an enemy starbase. So let's see. Helm, circle, search. Yeah, we want to cancel. All right, so now I'll just give you a little. We'll just go back to Starbase, Starfort. So now that we've moved around a little, let's head back to Starfort. So I'm gonna show you how to manually do this real quick. So we're gonna head back. We're gonna plot a course right next to it. And since we're in the system, we only have to do that once. But I'll show you, more on how to do that in the next entry. So now that we've plotted our course, we hit the engine engage button, which is F9. And again, I apologize. I have never made tutorials before, so I'm a little like, so I might miss or forget things, and I apologize. I'm trying to give you all the information I can. Now see, we're getting our distance to target right here. And you can turn the engine sound off, by the way, if you don't like it. I like it, so I keep it on. Oh. I thought I plotted myself right next to the damn thing. All right, hang on. Bearing. Let's do this manually. 6. I'm setting a course manually. So now we're setting our course manually, and I'll show you how to do that later as well. All right, so now we're coming up. Now we've stopped right next to the Starfort, and we hit Helm, we hit Dock, we're docked. So those are the basics of the navigation/Helm system. In the next tutorial, we will go over the basics of the nav map, moving around the sector. We will go over probes as well. So that's going to be the next one. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop them below in the comments. I've played a lot of this game. A lot. And I love it to death. So I want you to be ready for it once it comes out. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you for the next one.